right, so hi, I'm Lindsey. In this workshop thing, I'm gonna share with you how to track your stats for growth. If you haven't already, there's this little growth tracker thing that you can print out and go through. You are more than welcome to just watch the workshop and come back to it later. It's totally up to you. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started so we can not waste any of your time. So let me share my screen. Oh, hey there, I'm Lindsey. I help creative business owners learn how to use the tools to grow their audience online over at hazelhaven.com. I'm an online educator. That's probably the best title to give myself. But with my background in marketing and social media and website design, I know that I can help you take action with most of the tools that you will need for your business. Just a little background, I started my business a little over a year ago as a virtual assistant, and now I offer one-on-one services as well as online courses. When I first started growing my audience online, it was really hard. There's so much stuff to learn and different strategies to try and all of that. And with the right tools and systems in place, I've really learned how to make that a lot easier than it really was. And I want that for you too. And that's why I've created this tracker and, just why it's important to track these things. So what you're going to learn through this little workshop thing is why it's important to track your stats for growth, how to track your stats and your analytics, how to learn how you can save money, and just a few more helpful tricks. So grab a pen and your tracker or get ready to take some screenshots. It's important to track your stats for growth because you can see what is working and what's not working. So that way you can know that you're not wasting any time online, which we all know is really easy to do. So let's do this. This is just a little, layout of what the tracker looks like. You can print it out. Below this video, there will be a button to that. If you're watching the replay, there will be a button below the video as well, or there'll be one up. I can't remember what side it's on, but it'll be up here. So you can print it out and just write it in, or you can, watch the video and then afterwards, fill it in when it works for you, or you can have it on your computer and fill it in that way. It's really up to you, however you want to use it. Don't get overwhelmed. Whatever you do, don't get overwhelmed. And, what I like to do is I like to print it out and fill it out. I'll just, fill it out with a pen or a pencil, and then I will upload all of that into a Trello board or a Google document or something like that online. All right, so we're just gonna start up here and just kind of work our way through it. Social media. You want to grow your social media, mainly because it's a great marketing tool for your business. It's a way for people to connect with you, to know who you are, what you offer, if you sell products or services or any of that. Social media is a great place. But you want to make sure that when you're using social media, that you're using it strategically and that it's, with purpose. You want to be very intentional with your social media and that it's not just a bunch of random stuff that you're throwing out there. So if you're new to tracking or just new to, any of this, you want to stick to maybe one or two platforms while, when you get started. You don't want to try to be on like every platform. I know today a lot of people are like, oh, Anchor, it's a new like radio tracker thing. Let's all get on this platform and try it out. And I was sitting there going, no, I'm not getting on another platform. I'm not doing it. I'm focusing on video and I am focusing on my audience and what they need right now. And that's just not for me. If it's for you, cool, try it. But when you're getting started, just focus on 1 or 2 platforms. Do not overwhelm yourself. You know, if you've been in business for a little bit more, a little while longer, then yeah, sure, you know, track a few more things, but only use platforms that you are able to use and that you can focus on. Excuse me, but you know, you don't want to overdo it. Samantha said, yeah, gosh, no, stick to what you're good at and where your audience is. When you first start tracking this kind of stuff, it's not, it won't be as overwhelming. I mean, the first time it will probably take you a little bit more time just because it's something new and you're trying it out. But I'll walk you through it. All the different things that you want to check for and all the things that you want to write down so that you know exactly where you are today. And then, you know, in like 30 days, you'll do this thing again and you'll get to see how you've grown and how you've progressed and all of that. So on Instagram, you're going to go to Instagram and all you're going to do is just pull up your followers and then you're just going to write down the followers. So on this little sheet where it says platform and it says followers, you're just going to write platform, Instagram, followers, you know, whatever that number is right then. You know, you might even on the date thing where it says end of month, you can, I know it's the 3rd. So, you know, you could just be like end of month, then we'll do last month, you know, for July. And then you could even put that you're doing this on August 3rd so that when you do it again, you're going to do it on September 3rd instead of, you know, September 1st or, you know, something like that. So then you get a good, just enough time in between. Okay, so for Instagram, you just go to your profile. You can go to instagram.com/your username. And I just put my username here as an example. But you know, just write down your followers. Okay, cool. Twitter.com, your username. This is where you will find your followers. Now you can see over here, it has like, oh, your tweet activity. There's a bunch of other stuff. I only want you to track what you are comfortable tracking. You can get really, really, really involved in most of these stats and, you know, analytics, but I don't want you to go too far into it unless you really understand what you're looking at, you know, so don't, I'm going to say that a lot, don't overdo it. Okay, so there's lots of other things you can do. The Twitter, Facebook. If you have a Facebook page, just go to your Facebook page, and then over here it will have your likes, and then it also has your follows. So I can see that I have, I don't really focus on Facebook that much. I have 164 likes, and then I have 169 follows. So that means that there are people following me, and then there's also people that have liked my page. So that's just something to pay attention to. If you have a Facebook group, so I have a Facebook group called Creative Biz Haven. You're more than welcome to join it. You can just search for Creative Biz Haven on Facebook and my group will come up, and come on in. It's for creative business owners. But over here is where you can see how many members you have. So just right here on this, it'll be on the side. YouTube. This, I'm sure I'm going to put this video up on YouTube, but where you find your subscribers will be right here. So what I did is I went to youtube.com and then Lindsey Hazel, and then it comes up right next to my name. Sometimes YouTube's changing their user interface all the time. So you'll probably see your subscriber count other places as well, but that's the easiest place to go, is to just go to your main channel and just see it that way. Pinterest. So on Pinterest, when you pull up your profile, it will be right next to your photo right here. Sorry, that's a lot of text on that slide. The good news is that, you know, most of these tools have built-in analytics, but the best news is that all of these tracking tools are free. So if you're working on growing your Facebook page, you can go to analytics.facebook.com. If you're working on your Twitter account, you can go to analytics.twitter.com. And you're seeing a trend here with the analytics dot whatever the platform is. Google Analytics, I'm not going to go into Google Analytics today because there are so many things that you can do with Google Analytics. But if you want to work on growing your traffic to your blog or your website, you can go to analytics.google.com/analytics again /web. And then if you're working on growing your YouTube channel, YouTube has analytics built in as well. So you can just go to youtube.com/analytics and your channel analytics will just pop up like that. So, okay, so that's social media. So you always want to track your email list growth because, you know, when you have an online business, your email is what you really should focus on. You should use social media for marketing, but your email list is what you should focus on. And you always want to track that. You want to track your email list because it's the only thing that you own. So I use ConvertKit. So right when you log into ConvertKit, it will come up right here and it will just be like, hey, yeah. A lot of people will be like, oh, that's really not that many people. But I love my email list. I love that these are my people who I get to, you know, hang out and I get to send stuff to their inbox directly. And it is not about the numbers. Even though that we're talking all about numbers today, you want to make sure that your followers are engaged audience. You want it to make sure that they're an engaged audience. So numbers really don't matter, but for tracking, they kind of do. So you just want to track that. I mean, I remember when I only had like 10 people on my email list and I was fine with that. You know, don't get stressed out with how many people are on your list. Only focus on your own growth. I only want you to focus on your own growth, not anybody else's, not, you know, oh, you know, I have 20,000 people on my email list or I have all of this. That does not matter. That's their middle, not your beginning. So don't compare yourself to anyone else out there. So here's my email list. I got 673 people and I am okay with that. What's really cool about ConvertKit is that you can come in here, right here, and you can change the range. So let's say that you forgot to track a month. You could come in here and be like, oh, where was I in May or February or something, and compare it that way. And that's another really cool thing about ConvertKit. So the main reason that you want to focus on your email list is because you don't own any of your followers on social media. You don't own the people who go through and like all your stuff. You don't have, you know, the people who comment, however many comments you have on your posts, but you do own your email addresses. And you really need to keep that in mind while you're working on growing your audience online. You know, growing your email list should be the most important thing that you focus on. I know that you've heard this before, and I know that, you know, that's what people tell you when you have an online business, but it really is important. That's really what you should always keep in mind anytime that you put any stuff online. Okay, so now you want to look, you know, after you pull all those numbers together, you want to look at, you know, hey, what is working right now, what's not working, and why? So, you know, you'll get the most out of this exercise in 30 days when you do it again and again, and you get to compare, you know, more growth. This is just kind of the starting point for you. But when you can compare, you can see like, oh, my Instagram did really well. And then you can say, oh, well, it did really well because I posted 5 times a week, or I posted every day, or I was really engaged there, you know, or stuff like that. With YouTube, you know, if you posted more than 1 video a week, I'm not there yet, but, you know, one day I will be. But, you know, just pay attention to, you know, how many times did I post? How many sales did I make? How many leads did I get for my services or, you know, my products? How did they find me? A really cool thing that I've started doing for most of my applications is just adding the, hey, how did you find out about me? Or in my Facebook group, oh, this is awesome. So for my Facebook group, you can put, it's like qualifying questions or something like that. And what I did is I added one that has, it says, how did you find out about this Facebook group? And it's great because I can see if it was Instagram, or I can see if it was YouTube, or if it's my email list, or if it was a friend. Like earlier this week, one of my friends recommended my group. So they're like, oh, this person told me about it. And I was like, oh, thanks. That's awesome. So that's just a really cool just pro tip, to add to while you're working on these growth strategies to see if, they'll help you. So, on the sheet, I also have, systems and tools. And one of the biggest things is that, people get really confused with these two words. So I'm going to tell you the difference between systems and the difference between tools. So a system is the breakdown of steps. So pretty much think of it as like a workflow. How many steps do I have to do to complete this one task? That would be your system to finish that task. So an example, writing a blog post. Once you break down how many steps are involved in writing a blog post, it's a lot of work. It starts with an idea and then an outline. I've never been one to outline blog posts, but I know a lot of people do. Researching, actually writing the blog post, editing the blog post, creating graphics in Canva or Photoshop or whatever you use to create your pretty graphics, scheduling the post, sharing on social media. So going back to that, sharing on social media, doing a happy dance because now you're done, and then repeating it and doing it all over again. So that would be a system for writing a blog post. And that's just an example. Just think about regular things that you do during the day and, just kind of write down your system for that so that, in case you want to outsource it one day, someone else can do it. Or just to give yourself, peace of mind that, hey, if you only have an hour, you probably need a little bit more time to do that task because of all the steps that are involved. So you really want to ask yourself, are any or can any of these systems be streamlined? Yes, they can always be streamlined. I want you to try this. I want you to work on repurposing your content. And what I mean by this is, taking something like an Instagram post. Let's say that you posted something on Instagram and it did really, really well. I did this recently. I had an Instagram post and it got way more likes than usual and I got way more comments than usual, and people were like, this is so helpful, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. So I took that Instagram post and I turned it into an email and I sent that to my list. And then that did really good. I got a bunch of replies. I had so many people reply to that email, and I was like, what is going on? This is amazing. So what I did from that is I took that email and I turned it into a blog post, and then I turned it into a Facebook Live, and then I downloaded that video and turned it into a YouTube video. And what? That's so smart. And, so that's just one way that you can work smarter, not harder. So all I had to do was take that one piece of content and kind of bundle it up and repurpose it and throw it out there. And then that way I was less stressed about, oh, what am I going to post or what am I going to say or, anything like that. And it was just super helpful because let's be honest. How many times have you gotten to post something like, oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to, I don't know what to do. So go back and, if you have any content that's done really, really well, repurpose it. And then you can, you already know that it works on one platform. So it's probably going to work other places too. And that way, you'll continue to grow. People will want to know, get on your list, and, you'll get to see if just taking those small steps will help you grow your audience. Okay, so tools. So tools are what you use to implement your systems. And I want you to, keep it simple. There are so many different tools out there. I mean, I know I'm the one that, tests all this stuff out before sharing it with you and telling you, yeah, you should get that, or no, you shouldn't, or save some money, or, whatever. So, you want to use tools that are going to save you time so that you don't have to, hire someone else, or, you know, spend way more time trying to learn how to use something than it really needs to be. So here's an example. So I use SmarterQ for sharing all of my social media posts. So like on Twitter, I just I have a whole content library all up in SmarterQ, and it just recycles all that stuff all the time. I use it for my Facebook group. So every day I have a prompt that comes up, and it will just automatically do that. This saves me time because every morning I'm not have to go, oh, I just got home from the gym and now I need to post something in the Facebook group. No, I don't have to do that. All I have to do is pop in Facebook, a few minutes, or a day. It's really not that much. I'm not just hanging out on social media all the time. So SmarterQ is a great tool for that. I use Tailwind to schedule all my Pinterest pins. It's a great tool. There's also other tools like Board Booster and a bunch of other tools that are now doing Pinterest as well. But I really like Tailwind. But keep it simple. So what I want you to do is, when you're going through this tracker, and you're really, starting to get in the habit of knowing, okay, what am I actively putting time into? What am I actively trying to grow? Is there anything that I'm paying for that I don't need to be paying for? Because those monthly fees add up. They add up so much. You'll be like, oh, it's only $5, or oh, it's only $12 or $20 or whatever it is. And then you're like, whoa, wait, I'm paying for this thing and I'm not even using it. I don't need to be paying for this thing if I'm not using it. Now, if it's something different, like if it's something like this, like Crowdcast, where you're maybe not using it all the time, but you're using it still like once a month, that's still probably a good thing. There are multiple ways that you can, do there's different webinar platforms and stuff like that. But for most people, when they're getting started out, like I know there's a girl in my Facebook group who has, she wanted to do like a webinar embedded on her site, but now that Google Hangouts is not, it's now YouTube Live, you have to have like 1,000 people or something, like 1,000 views maybe, to be able to even use YouTube Live. So that option is not open to her. So, webinar, she needed to get a webinar platform or, tool so that she could use that. So, it's different. Just look at your budget and look at, what you can spend. But if you are actively using a tool and it's helping you, and you can see that it's helping you, then yes, keep it. But if you're paying for something and you're not using it, and you haven't used it in like 3 months or 4 months or 6 months or even a year, then you need to stop paying for that thing. Most of these tools, you can, even if you've like paid for like the year or something, I mean, you'll have to go back and look at your terms, but you can go to them and be like, hey, I'm not using this, or this isn't really working out for me on my budget right now. Is there anything that you can do, or, can I cancel, or can I freeze it, or something? And, work with these companies and let them know, hey, I really love your tool, but it's just not working out for me right now. And they're used to those kinds of things. But if you're just honest and you just let them know, like, hey, this just isn't working for me, it's totally fine. All right, so save some money. And then lastly, what you want to do is you want to look over everything that we've talked about, and you want to ask yourself, okay, what can I do to improve the next month ahead? Let's look at, what was working really well, and how can I make that work even better next month. So, you know, again, this works really well when you have at least 2 months to compare. But one thing I've been noticing, especially with those validating questions that I've been asking in my Facebook group, and even on my like application for my services, I have a little line that has, you know, hey, how did you hear about me? And more I keep hearing that people are finding me through YouTube. So this upcoming, or, you know, in August, I'm really going to focus on using YouTube more. And just, you know, I do a lot of these live streams. I'm like, I can totally download these live streams and upload them to YouTube. Why not? So I'm actually going to do that with this video. But yeah, so, you know, an example, get a bunch of leads from YouTube. Maybe you should try and push out one more video or do a live stream and download it and upload it to YouTube to share. And again, I'm going to do that with this video. So please, I'm more of a, instead of attention, it's like, please, I want you to set goals for growth so that you have something to work towards. It can be, don't go, I mean, you can, if you want to have big, crazy goals, go for it. If you want to be like, yeah, I'm going to have 10,000 people on my email list, you know, that's fine. But I want you to set realistic goals for your business. And I only want you to track this stuff every 30 days. So I don't want you, every day, I don't want you going on social media and being like, oh my gosh, I lost 10 followers, or oh my goodness, where'd all these people go? Or, you know, I don't want you to do that, because it's a thief of joy. It totally is a thief of joy. The same way that, you know, comparison, you know, doing comparison is like, I don't want you to compare where you are today with where someone else is, you know, maybe in like 5 years of their business. Like, you know, you don't want to do that. I only want you to compare your results with your own progress. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I fell into that trap, and I don't want you to fall into that trap, because none of that stuff matters. The only thing that matters is, you know, where you are with your business right now, today. And you can use these stats and focus on that for, you know, where you're going in the future. But don't, just don't overthink it. Just, you know, focus on where you are today. And just remember, slow progress is better than no progress. And the reason I tell you that is just because, you know, it's very easy to think that you are going to be, you know, oh yeah, all of the stuff is just going to happen overnight. And it doesn't happen like that. People have to, you have to put in the work. You have to take action. You have to, you know, set goals, and you have to, you know, just keep taking those small steps to get to, you know, where you want to be. I used to hate being on video. I hated it. I hated being in front of the camera. I hated it, you know, but I've just taken these small steps over the past year. And now I'm, you know, people find me on my video and are like, oh, I love your videos. And saying, yay, I'm glad, because I really didn't like doing videos. So, you know, whatever you're working on, you know, just take that small step and just continue from there, and just, you know, break down what you need to do and just, you know, work up that way. There are a lot of different things that you can track and try, and it's really, you can go as deep as you want to into all of this kind of stuff, but don't spend too much time on it if it's not something that is going to be beneficial for your time. You know, you want to make sure that it's still going to help you with what you're trying to track at the same time. Let me know in the comments, you know, what stats do you like to track? You know, have you had any aha moments during this workshop? Just, I'd really like to know if it was helpful for you. Now, and this is just kind of a new thing that I'm doing, but, you know, I really do appreciate you for watching, and thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. If any of this was helpful for you, tips are appreciated. I now have a virtual tip jar, and I'm accepting Bitcoin now. So if you want to support my channel, or if you want to support my business, you are more than welcome to head over to hazelhaven.com/tipjar. And if you want to, cool. If not, no worries. I'm just putting it out there into the universe, and it's going to be. Thanks again. If you have any questions, just pop them below. Be sure to download your tracker. I think it's like right here. And I'm sure I'll do this again soon. So have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.